Hello. I'm solo right now. Hot takes before stream. Ignis is okay. Let's do my unofficial intro that I have yet to write down. Hello, everybody. This is the ranting hour where me, sometimes, and potentially others, rant for sometimes more than an hour. We talk about things. I don't know where Inkwelder is. I don't know where Amino is. I don't know where Necklord is. But we don't plan generally. And we just talk about stuff. I'm gonna lean a bit more on chat today because I didn't really have much on my mind. I had a couple things, but I figured I kind of wanted to do a Q&A stream and general chat involvement stream, so I thought it'd be fun. But anyways, if you're listening to this on the recording, you can find me in the TCC channel or TCC Discord generally. If I had, damn it, I screwed it up again. I was supposed to have the link ready, but once again, I am doing this last minute. Hello everybody. If you're watching this recording after the fact, please be sure to like the video and subscribe and all that stuff. Leave a comment about anything. Preemptively, shout out to Indolent Lard. He does the timestamps almost every time, and I super appreciate it. And I want to have him on eventually, but the time zones are so messed up that I can't really sustain it, which sucks. Great guy. Subscribe to his channel as well. So a preemptive thanks to him. Preemptive hello to Blind Eye. Hank's here.
What is up?
Hi, Ink.
How's it going?
All right, I was wondering where you were, but it's not worries because I can carry things if need be. I know we had some things we might have wanted to talk about, but I figured we'd probably lean on chat a bit more anyways today. Just because kind of a dead time. I had something spicy potentially to talk about, but I wanted to bounce off of chat so far. What's up with you? What are you eating today?
I am not eating anything yet because I've been working, but I do plan to try and go and get some extra moist brisket with hot sausage and cream corn. I was going to eat healthy, but then I had a bad day of work, so screw that. I'm going to eat what I've wanted for like months now.
Well, I was going to say the times that define us are adversity when we stick to our ideals, but if it's been months and you're trying to eat some brisket, I'm all for it. Hello.
Damn you, don't say that. That makes me want to go get a healthy bowl of lentils or something.
Nah, dude, I'm committed to eating well this month because my girlfriend's out of town for a month and I have no reason to eat out. I gained a little too much weight over the weekend because I had cake when I really didn't need to have cake. And then I had fried chicken when I really didn't need to have fried chicken. I look at the scale, I'm like, that's like 5 extra pounds I really don't need. So I just, like for a month straight, 30 days, I'm eating clean. No takeout, working out consistently, drinking all my water and stuff like that. So it should be a good time.
Damn, that's it. I mean, cake. If you're gonna use your calories on something, let it be cake. Like
facts.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna back up Natsu Black, who says Ignis sucks. I agree. 700 tickets, no fucking LD,
Yikes.
No BT. I am done with that. Those banners are awful for me. I pitied Sarah, I pitied Aerith, and now I spent 700 tickets on Ignis with nothing. So
I see.
Oh my, yeah, that dude,
Yikes.
That is Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen incarnate is that banner.
Ooh, why is Necklord on here? Let's get this hide his icon. Bye. What kind of cake? It was fire. It was red velvet cake on top, and then it was cheesecake. So it was like the top layer was regular cake and the bottom layer was like cheesecake.
That is absolute fire.
Oh my god, I almost cried. It was amazing. It was only second place to this dish my girlfriend makes me. She makes me if you know sopapillas, she makes a cheesecake. I'm a cheesecake fanatic. Yeah. She makes cheesecake sopapillas, and it really is the best thing I've had in my entire life. Man, I'll start my diet tomorrow. It'd be like that. The best time to implement a good change in your life is always right now. Yeah. Catching up on chat because I said I'd read chat more earlier. Ink, I know you DM'd me earlier, but I completely forgot anything I might have said we could talk about.
Oh well, I wanted to. One of the things that I was gonna say was like there are an insane number of people that are talking about which banner to pull for Garland BT on, and they're like comparing Ignis and Faris. And everyone is like focusing, like new players are focusing on Faris over Ignis, which has to be just a dreadful mistake.
Yes,
like
horrible.
From a role coverage perspective, like if you're a new player and you pulled the start dash banner, this is happening all over main court. I swear,
is it really?
There's been at least there's at least 10 to 20 people that have been saying like, hey, I'm running, my main team is Garland, Squall, and Lightning. Should I keep pulling for Cloud? And it's like, oh my God, go pull for Ignis, go pull for Deuce, pull for Mog, pull for any support, but stop chasing damage dealers. People are even well, no, I'll switch. That's gonna be the next topic, is the Mayfair banners and the Noctis curse. But like, people are not giving respect to Ignis. I used 700 tickets for a reason. That's the most I've ever used on a banner and not gotten it, and that's fine. I'm done. I'm for sure not pulling anymore. But
at least we had 10 ticket pulls to ease the pain.
I did the last 200 manually.
Oh my God!
But the first 500 were all 10s, and they went smooth. But yeah, the pain was eased a little bit there. But yeah, Ignis has such wide role coverage. I think people have the goggle. Ferris has 5 debuffs, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, like I know that her call is great because of the effect. She lowers enemy brave to 0 after their turn, so they literally, enemies can't hold brave anymore. It's just not a thing unless they do brave gains in the middle, like Divine Alex. Divine Alex does brave gain, and she's not going to lower it because Alex didn't take a turn yet. But it's an awesome call, but it's got 4 debuffs. One of the debuffs is a 70% defense down, which is obviously like amazing, but still. Give some more respect to the cook. He deserves it.
I got corrected in the TCC Discord earlier about her call as well. One of her debuffs is not brave damage taken up, and I got to correct this on one of my videos as well. It is the enemy deals 20% less brave damage. That was an oopsie on my part.
It still feels like that's not as big. Like did you read that Reddit article comparing attack auras? That was a really good article. Attack auras. The guy that wrote the Deuce dissertation.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna read it. Definitely no.
Well, so it's very easy to explain. Like, you can explain it in a sentence. It's saying 70% attack up on a character or on an aura. Attack values are usually like maybe all in there around 10,000. Maybe. So 70% of 10,000 is far less significant than 70% reduction of 50,000 defense.
You
right?
Lost me. There's too many numbers going on. You said it'd be in a sentence. You lost me with the numbers.
Well, 70% of 10,000 versus 70% of 50,000. You can tell there's like a 5x difference. So the defense down, because defense goes so high, it's much better and more impactful to lower defense than it is to boost your attack. And it sort of reinforces how strong brave damage spheres are versus attack spheres. Like, attack spheres are certainly good, but they don't really contribute nearly as much as brave damage spheres.
Is this considering only just the current global and not when bosses start getting defense up again later in JP?
No, this is considering with bosses getting defense up in JP.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you look at Rem's Dissidia, Lufenia.Dissidia.dev, and it has the stats broken out, you can see there, like, defense starts to spike up real hard. And that's when defense percentage down, like, has a much bigger impact. That's why ignore defense still caps, right?
Yeah, generally, if you boost it enough. I saw Pikachu said Ignis is Aerith 1.5 ban. Ignis is Aerith 0.5 negative ban. People saying they're I don't know. I think Aerith's more fun just because she looks a lot more happy to attack people.
Yeah, that's true. Gavrilo, you can you don't like Ami because of the calls. You can because of the debuffs, you can actually unequip Ami's EX weapon.
Assuming you're talking about using her as a call, by the way.
Yeah, as a call. So yeah, if you're using Ami as a call, you can unequip the EX weapon, throw anything else on Ami. Ami is never ever there to do anything but delete a turn. Like, you're not doing it for the damage and you're not doing it for the battery necessarily. I mean, it's nice, but that's not the critical use. So just remove the EX plus passive, and then the call only deals 1 debuff. So
is the Golbez cycle more exciting? I think the Golbez cycle is pretty bad, to be honest. I don't have good things to say about Golbez, which I think I've said this a couple times, but I hate the fact that he relies on a generic Imperil to do damage, because as soon as he can't hit dark, like say there's debuff real estate issues, then his damage just falls off a cliff, and that's annoying. Fujin is ass. 9 actually got good upgrades, and Kadaj is kind of mid too. He's situationally good, but I can't recommend anybody pull for him. Dissertation guy taking the W. I'm not doing math. Facts. All facts. I'm not trying to see numbers. See, the problem, Ink, I'm gonna make fun of you a little bit. When you said 50,000 versus 70,000 or whatever, why not just 500 and 100? The zeros complicate things.
Sure, but I wanted to use more realistic values for people.
Well, yeah, but realistic versus easier to do mental math.
Yeah,
if you're trying to communicate a concept.
All right.
Yes.
That's fair. So 70% of 10 versus 70% of 50 is you'd rather have 70% of 50.
Why's it got to be 70%? That's hard mental math too. Nobody knows how to divide by 7.
All right.
I'm just messing around. I'm not excited for Kadaj. No, I pulled him and used him once. I think I used him twice, and every time I'm like, maybe it'd be interesting to use Kadaj because I love his EX animation, but I just could never. He's plenty usable. Don't get me wrong. I always say this: people are plenty usable. It's just that I could never find a good reason to. Like, there were always better options for me personally.
I feel like he falls into the Vincent area of things where he's completely usable, totally relevant, but he's filling that debuffer / attacker role.
Yeah, you really got to build to maximize that.
Yeah, his attack is never going to be as much as other damage dealers that are built specifically to attack. So he's never going to be that, and that means that you're getting some damage out of him, which is great. But you're leaning on his debuffs, and if his debuffs aren't relevant for that fight, you're not going to want to use him. So he steals Brave gains, which is super cool that he can do that. Yeah, that's I think a really awesome mechanic. If a boss gains,
had a hard time finding a place to use it was all.
Yeah. Well, it must have been. Did anyone use him again? Oh, he wasn't
Alexander.
Out for Divine Alex.
Yeah, but people did run it back with Alex, and he kind of clapped it.
Yeah, because that's awesome that Alex gains 100k Brave, and Kadaj will just steal 50k of it, which is super nice. Cool.
Do you agree with the notion that Lightning's rework and Burst Plus was bad? No, it's just not. She's not broken. But she's fine. Not. I think Arden and Golbez were much more disappointing Burst Plus wise than Lightning was. Lightning's fine. Don't get me wrong, guys. Golbez is fine. It's just I personally hate using him.
And also, if you just want an easy time farming Divine Alex, you're probably going to want to pull for Golbez.
At least his LD. And I'm going to say I'm half working on I say half working because I just keep playing Mass Effect after work. But I'm working on I have a concept in the back of my mind for I wrote some notes for a High Armor Plus video. And I wanted to try and explain it in a way that was easy to communicate. And so we have like the 3-1 split, the 2-2 split, and the 1-3 split. I proposed in my script so far that we call it Brave Armor, Balance Armor, and HP Armor, because I think that's a bit easier to communicate rather than stupid fucking numbers. Does that sound realistic to you, Ink?
So that does. The only thing is balance. I guess as long as you're using both terms, then that does make sense. But what do you do for like unity?
So this is where the annoying types of permutations come in, because there's party unity and then there's selfish unity like Bart's. So either way, you're ending up with convoluted fucking terms.
So and just so that people understand, the 3-1, 1-3, and the 2-2, those are the 3 scales of things. It's basically saying, like, attack armor is brave. Your brave and HP damage limits increase, right?
By 15 each, right? 15%?
By 15, yeah. But
500 a pop.
Yeah. So the 1-3 refers to a 10% boost to the first thing and a 30% boost to the second thing. 3-1 means 30% brave damage and 10% HP damage.
This is only in the selfish range. See, it's already complicated, and it's way
that's the problem.
Harder to communicate than it is in practice. Because what I think about Yuna. Yuna has, well, I'm going to try and use my own terminology. Yuna has party HP encouragement armor. So she raises the HP cap by a lot. And so in practice, that means that Yuna's high HP damage modifiers allow the party to get a higher HP cap. That's the simple way of doing it. Or I could be really fucking complicated and go, Yuna has encouragement 1-3 cap party armor. And what that is much more difficult to understand than Yuna raises the party's HP cap higher. I mean,
true.
Yeah. And that's what I want to, when I get around to putting this video together. But Mass Effect is crack. When I get around to that, I want to try and explain it in a way that makes it easy to communicate. I know on the TCC channel earlier, I talked about it briefly with you, Ink, but you put out the notion that HP caps are potentially better than Brave damage caps, and that's a not necessarily. It really, I mean, yeah. It's really up to the people, and I always appreciate more creativity and the stuff they allow us to do. But personally, because I like taking the easy way out, I just love me some HP damage modifiers. That's one of the reasons I run Yuna a lot in JP, just because she has that HP damage cap, and that's why I ran Yuna and Warrior Elite a lot, because they both have the party HP damage up cap. So I just throw out stupid modifiers and let everyone hit their caps without actually doing that much damage. Let me catch up on chat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
We as a community of content creators across the board, I'm not talking about just me and BC, like we across the board will figure out a good way to explain this utterly convoluted mechanic.
Yes.
Golbez has to be a nightmare because he also has stolen brave damage.
Oh my god. That reminds me of something I'm going to bring up later. But I want to say this now before I put a video on it. Do not max Golbez's armor just to farm. It is not worth it. Not worth it at all. At all. Please don't do it. I regret my blue ingots and Golbez so much. Please do not. If you're at best, give him like the base and a book maybe, but please don't blue his armor just to farm. I want to put that out there right now, because yeah. I forgot where I was going with that. Shit.
No, it's because we are entering an era where you have ingots in play again, right? So we've had EX Plus for so long, and now we finally, maybe a couple months ago, got to the point where we're flush with ingots. We have so many ingots, we can throw them around easily. We're getting a new type of ingot. Do you remember how limited these ingots were the first time we got them? They're super rare, so just don't throw them around.
Thank you for reminding me.
Them well.
The best advice for High Armor Plus is just don't use it. just don't do it. I High Armor Plus so much in the beginning, and I've been actively avoiding High Armor Pluses now in JP, and I'm doing fine. So I realize it's really just it's a min-max thing. So if you can avoid it, just don't do it. All right, that's the best advice I can give. Now
on your favorites. Yeah. When Sid Reigns comes, skip Sid Reigns, blue Mog's armor, and you'll be fine.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm confused.
That's the new trend.
Yes, Gavrilio. I hope I'm saying your name right. It is confusing to explain, but trust when I say it's confusing, because I remember telling Ink about it and how confused I was. It took me like 3 months to understand it. And that's because I had to just think about it. I'm like, wait, let me cut through the bullshit. What actually happens? And if you care about hitting high brave numbers, brave armor. If you care about hitting high HP numbers, HP armor. If you plan to use them a lot, blue them. If not, fuck it, skip it. And that's all you gotta think about.
So I'm gonna go through this, and I'm gonna look at the other types of armor, because what you said makes sense for attack. And if it makes sense, and it doesn't, and it's actually like a very helpful thing, we should just put it on the infographic with the details on the website. Because right now what we were talking about doing was, like, for Golbez, putting attack keystone self 3-1, which is like okay. It doesn't really explain. I mean, it explains to people that already explain the concept, that already understand the concept, but that there's probably like 10% maybe of people that understand it. So it's probably better to say attack keystone, like with a little icon that says brave, like brave damage limit.
And I'm curious to see how they localize it as well. But and it's certainly going to be even more convoluted on stream. Josh, I'm sorry, but I don't blame you if you have a hard time explaining it, because I don't think anybody can. It's just one of those things that's better in practice.
Yeah, we were, and Malicite, we were talking on main cord about support, and support at least has party HP damage cap up, which is relevant. So yes, the attack plus 5% is embarrassing and a throwaway, but the HP cap up is really nice because we're getting so many HP damage
modifiers,
up characters now. Yeah, that you are more likely to hit that cap, and just continuing to increase it, it's gravy.
Yeah, it's I when my initial Lufenia armor video, I did surprisingly well. I kind of regret my take on high support armor, because I didn't realize how valuable HP caps are until I started doing HP damage with not even getting close to the cap, but adding so many modifiers, be it bursts and debuff calls and stuff like that. That if you do like 50k, I mean, follow my own voice. If you do 500, but then you end up doing 1,000 because you have just so many HP damage up modifiers, if you can crank that cap even higher, it's actually pretty fun to see, and how I prefer to play now. So HP damage caps are really good, but again, it really depends on how you play. Max your favorites, and probably you're probably fine without doing anything else, because these are a super limited resource.
This is
talk about premium pain. I wanted to ask you, Ink, have you guys started working on the pain infographic yet?
We're gonna find out a unique way to show that's relevant, because I've looked at what everyone else is doing, and I mean, they're not gonna have as much time. They're releasing it quickly to help people. We're gonna have like 8 months, 7 months to prepare for it. So we obviously will take time to make sure, but we'll come up with it. It'll probably look along the lines of what Ignis has right now, where we're explaining each stance, right? Because it's basically, she has 3 stances instead of 2. So I think that it's a pretty reasonable explanation, and we'll try to put I don't think we're going to put images. That's the thing. People were like trying to put her on the left and on the right and in the middle in like different team comps, and it's like, you don't need to do that. You just say if leftmost, if rightmost, like that kind of thing.
Now,
I don't know, we'll figure something
I'm
out.
going to disagree with that. Having just used pain and being able to glance at the image and see if pain is on the left of people, then this happens, is easier than reading.
Okay, that's fair. That's interesting.
That being said, I still got confused, but personally,
honestly, and Rue, that's true. Brilliance and resonance.
Oh yeah, that was it. Thank you. Yeah, brilliant. But that's nobody's gonna remember that. Those words are too similar. Those are horrible names. Yeah. Horrible choices. It's just them trying to be cute. Square can't name anything for shit.
Well, no, and also just saying self is much more easily identified than brilliance.
Self and party.
Self
and party
is much better than resonance. Yeah, if that was the name of it, where it was like, hey, brilliance means attack, and that was like an agreed upon concept, that would be great. But honestly, yeah, like
the filler word. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Oh look, I have brilliance. Oh really? I have resonance. Oh boy. No, that doesn't.
No one knows.
Communication should be effective, not fluffy, and that's what half of the bullshit in this game is. Like refine spheres, but the refine is the worst version of them. But you refine something to make it better. That's a totally different conversation, though. Whilst Pedro Soto said, "Hopefully, it won't be much of a pain for you." For that joke, you have been banned. Kidding.
Yeah. Well. So I feel like it's good lead-in with us talking about caps and stuff, and you talking about stacking modifiers, to quickly say that tonight we enter probably a new era of the game, I think, with Yang, and the fact that you can run Terra and Yang and Aranea together on a team and just completely demolish the team. It doesn't have to be that specific team, because Yang works with other characters like Ultimisha and Lightning and Aranea, sure, but he works with fast characters. He also works, there was a T2 run with Yang, with Aerith and Y'shtola, so please don't get the misinformation that you should only pull Yang if you have Terra or anything like that. That's total misinfo that could be floating around. But you can now run 3 damage dealers if you use your calls to compensate for what your party is missing.
And I like that that's a thing now.
Yeah, I love that you have more team building options where you may not need a healer. It depends on the fight. Like if they inflict which fight was it Diablos or one of them that would inflict at a threshold, they would inflict poison on you, HP poison. And you just start losing HP. I forgot there was one
Bahamut, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so Bahamut did that. So like you have to be careful of that kind of stuff, and you also need to take care of the orb. The orb might be to deal a certain kind, like if it's deal ranged damage. Terra and Yang are not going to do that. Yang, I hope, yeah, he's melee.
I thought he was.
I always have to. Yeah, he feels like he should be ranged because he's jumping and kicking things.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
Yeah,
he's not consistent.
Yeah, Agrius is physical, right? But yeah, I think people should consider Young if you don't have a good melee attacker. If you have Terra, if you happen to have her and you have her fully geared and you lucked out on her burst, the two of them can run circles for a lot of Lufenia to come. But just keep in mind that with that caveat, they need really specific calls for some fights. Like you need, well, Fujin's call for 9's Lufenia, you need that, but you can just use the base call, so I guess that doesn't count. But there's some really odd cases where you need a really specific setup to make that combination work. So just keep that in mind. Don't pull Yang thinking that Terra and Yang are going to destroy everything no matter what. But
you still need to fight the orb, guys. But I think the people here probably understand that by now. I like to think the people who tune into the stream are a little smarter than average. I kind of encourage that here.
yeah, for sure. But it's cool. So because I dumped 700 on Ignis, I am just going to gem Yang and just any character that works with your favorites. Do you do this in JP? Like if you find that a new character works really, really well with Yuna, would you specifically pull that character just because it's like, oh man, this combo is broken, I really want to try it out?
Everyone works with Yuna.
Okay. Pick a different person then.
Well, it so turns out that all my favorite characters are not raw damage. So
all right.
Because Zach works fair. Anywhere also. I mean, really, there's the situation of having characters that pair really well with one person isn't that rare, you know? Can you think of a lot of examples of that happening?
Where you're saying that pairs do work really well together?
Yeah, like the ones that come to mind are like Aphmau and Sid Reigns and
you're right, they're very
Yang and Terra. But can you think of any others? I actually just can't.
Well,
Jack, can you guys think of anything?
I won't know it. I won't come up with anything from JP because I don't necessarily follow it all that much. Those are the two most popular. But like it's along the lines of like Lael and Selfie or something like that. Like back in the day, back in launch era. Kate Sith and Selfie,
Cecil,
like they were great
Dark
together.
Cecil, Cloud, Kais, obviously, and Noctis, those guys. But I don't think that happens too much now that I think about it. Like just like that pair. Like obviously, if there is that pair, then you want to do it. But I don't actually think it happens that often now that I think about it.
Yeah, and you can build. There's a bunch of there's a lot going through chat, but it's like specifically two characters that enable each other to be exponentially better.
Yeah.
Like specifically two, not a whole team of 3, but specifically 2 characters. You put them together, and all of a sudden, like chaos comes up.
Paladin, Cecil, Sayador, Furion, and Rude. Yep. Good points. Aroha and Ashe, definitely. Buff extension pairs, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't happen that often. So I think it's more of an edge case. In that edge case, I would pull for those people that enable my favorites a lot. But if it doesn't really happen that often, then it's not quite going to get Gladio and Gao. That's a bit different, but yeah.
Yeah, I would say Rude and Furion, probably.
Yeah. Someone already mentioned that.
I'm just interjecting. I don't even know what the question is.
What
but
the fuck? Where did you come from?
I'm sneaky like this. But I will say, if your favorite shit, you will be pulling a lot.
Who'd you pull to make Cyan good?
Everyone. Yeah, I think it got to the point that where Lightning LD BT dropped, and that was probably the point where it was like, yeah, you must now pull everything to use Cyan.
Does Yang LD effect and not? Oh, I thought they said Nacho Noctis burst effect.
Yeah,
they do. They leapfrog.
Yeah, and I mean, it works with so much. This is why I said it's a new era of the game of like finding these stupid broken pairs that enable each other to like
Hyper
I would
DPS
watch
racing.
Yeah. I mean, you're turning everything intentionally into a DPS race, but yeah, it's sort of comical at how the videos were easy to watch, but I wonder how there were a couple videos where I was like, ooh, I don't think they're gonna make it, and it's like super close. The orb is at like 1, and they ignored the orb and just tried to like rush the hell out of it.
That's stress.
Yeah, Bosch and Vivi are not a good combination. That is,
Warrior
it's
Light
okay.
And yeah, that's better.
You have to be really careful because on Vivi's turn he can drop Bosch under the threshold. I purpled Bosch specifically for Vivi, so I've dealt with Bosch dying because of Vivi.
I see.
There's some edge cases.
Cloud of Darkness burst with Terra, does that count? Yeah, stuff like that. You can just get really silly with the effects. The more variables they throw at us, the more shenanigans that we can have, which I'm always a fan of. And next month, I wanted to touch on next month and how garbage it is. I really hate almost all the fights next month. I mean, this month was annoying, but next fight probably takes the cake. But it's very good to shout that that's pretty much the last month they let us stop trying to use stuff. After that, they pretty much eased up on the restrictions. They must have fired the guy who said, okay, we're gonna balance fights by not letting you use characters. They kind of shy away from that after next month, because next month is some of the most restrictive fights we've had ever. With Divine Alex just being a dark orb, and who does dark that doesn't have issues on that fight? Golbez, Bibi, Xande.
Vivi has issues.
How?
Oh, are you talking about 9 or Alex? Sorry.
Alex.
Oh, Alex. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, Vivi does have issues on 9, which is also, and so does Xande. That's an annoying fight in of itself.
Yes, people are gonna get. I would say that if you don't have, and correct the hot take, if you are not doing Terra Young on 9's Lufenia, that is the most painless run I've seen of it. If you're not doing that run, you're going to want like Fujin and 9. Otherwise, it's just pain incarnate. It doesn't matter what the hell you have. That fight is awful.
Yeah, that's probably right.
If you're going through it.
That's probably right. Like, I think you can Square Enix Airlines it too, but that's hard. I remember trying that on release, and I failed a bunch of times and gave up.
Yeah, there was another person that I talked to, so I thought that I didn't know if it was like maybe it was like you didn't try hard enough for it. But I asked somebody else, and they were like, "Yeah, I tried Squex Airlines. That did not work for me." But then I looked, and there were like 5 videos of it. So it all depends.
They don't show the failures.
Yeah, and I will say to anyone that gets frustrated with Lufenia fights, don't be above just pulling up a video and matching turn order and matching skill for skill. Like, yes, if you get so frustrated with it and you just want it done, don't go pull a character. Go look for a run and just match the run verbatim. Like, yes, there's no creativity, and no, you won't have fun doing that. You'll just watch it, and it's sort of whatever. But the fight will be done, you'll be fine, and your resources will be intact. So,
yeah. There's a bonus to this as well, because sometimes doing that, you can just learn how ridiculous some video runs actually are.
Yes.
Even though they look smooth, they are just so dependent on turn order shenanigans, like the stars have to align so perfectly. This is one of the things. This is one of the main times you've like mega baited me, Ink. Was when you sent me that Seador Lufenia, and like I actually got to the point where I started doing that. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And even with like the whole removal of passives and speed and stuff and all this, it was just so dependent on how boss turn shit decided to behave. So it got to the point where I was just like, yeah, no, fuck, I can't do this. But that guy must have suffered for hours to get that run.
It was running Cyan in Sayador Lufenia, which has the stacking HP poisons, and Cyan's dumb conditional on his EX only cleanses if he's above 80% HP, and the number 2 level lowers your HP by 20%, which means that it's not more than 80%, it's 80% exactly, which means Cyan can't cleanse the party. So you literally need to spam skills with Cyan, ignore the EX, and manage a debuff. It's a pain in the butt. And you watch the video and you're like, oh, this looks totally smooth, this is fine. And then you try it and you're like, this is a nightmare.
Yeah. Someone said, if you're not a content creator, mimic everyone, or you could be like me, wait days to do JP content and mimic them. Shameless.
And you also, if you watch a run and you mimic it, you'll also learn stuff. Like, I knew that it worked, but I didn't consider for Sephiroth's Lufenia that the way that you managed to get enough damage out of Gladio, Kais, and Charlotta was specifically using Gladio's counter with Kais's buff so that you could launch using other characters, that you didn't just wait for that character's turn. You got like twice as many launches with Kais using that, like letting Gladio's counter make them launchable. It was like something that was brilliant, that I was like, I don't have enough damage. And then I realized that was what they were doing when I was copying. And I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant. And then I used it more later. So you can actually learn some pretty interesting things from it.
Yeah, totally.
But looking at chat, Drez, Gladio Cheese still works after they fixed it. The number of options were sort of locked out.
The bug with Alexander was that it didn't apply its Brave Gain reduction correctly, so it was even easier to do the Gladio loop. So all that changed was that you just needed some more battery, and you could make it through. It was just tighter, is all, but it's still possible. So they didn't lock it out.
Yeah, just stack your. All you need to do for that is just stack your Brave and HP damage up. HP damage up is especially important. Throw as much HP damage up on Alex and on your team as possible. Paladin, Cecil, Seven, Sarah, Balthier. We have more options now. Just load them up. Deuce, whoever you've got, throw as much HP damage up on your team and on the boss with calls, whatever you got.
Yep.
And that will help loads.
If you use Kai skill 2, it procs off the counter. Yes, it makes them launchable.
Yeah, that's like a brilliant use of Kais, is using a counter character. Like you can do it with anybody, Gao, Farian, Emperor, it doesn't matter. If there's a trap, if they attack while they have that buff via counter, your next character will get to launch them, and then you'll get like Emperor's turn, and then Emperor can launch them too. So it's a silly amount of launches that you can get out if you let people counter with Gladio's buff, Kais's buff up. That is. No.
Oh wait, sorry. What?
Yeah, I remember you were saying something before.
Oh no, I'd completely finished my point.
Oh, great.
Wow.
We just have such good mojo. We just flow into each other so like.
All right, shut up. Kai's call and Yang. Yeah, does that work? I don't know. I know so little about Yang. Oh, it does work? Okay, sweet. Yeah, so more of these. Oh, God, that's silly. Oh, no! That's really silly! Oh, my God! Yikes.
Oh, I watched a video of that crap. That is hysterical.
Well,
wait, for the idiots, what does Kai's call do again?
So it makes whoever you point at able to launch on their next turn. But if you give it to a unit that does off-turn damage, they make the target launchable, even if they haven't taken a turn yet.
Yeah, so basically, if your turn order is, let's just say that you're running Aranea, Terra, and Yang, and you use Aranea, the turn order is Aranea, then Terra, and then Yang, you can use Kais skill 2, the call. You throw the buff on Yang while his LD buff is up. He goes and he attacks. All the enemies become launchable. Aranea launches the enemy. Yang attacks, makes both enemies launchable again. Terra goes, uses her LD, launch and curse. Terra Terra goes again 4 more times, every single time Terra attacks, it's a launch.
That is degenerate. That is the perfect way to describe that. Very degenerate.
It's absurd. You will yeah. I only watched one video of it, but yeah, I mean that's how the buff works.
Yeah,
So essentially, you get to be boring with extra steps.
yes.
That is essentially what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I wonder if you threw Cam Call on Yang, whether he would Brave Gain after all of his stuff.
That's
that
a
would
great
be
question.
that's
someone will
real-
test it. We'll find.
That's
We'll
one
get
for
the answer to
science.
that.
Oh, I'll test it.
Yeah.
I will test it in an hour and 20
I love
minutes.
calls. You get to do dumb shit like this. Very
Yeah.
fun. Great addition to the game. Makes it just 4-dimensional or 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're in some
I-
kind of dimension.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any way that degeneracy doesn't work, and I don't see it. Obviously, you do. I think that one of the reasons why it wasn't super mega popular is that you have a really limited window, and you do need that specific order, right? So
Yep.
you need your call character. I guess you could use the call. No, you can't even use the call on. Yeah, because you can't use it on the character themselves, so you can't put it on Yang. So you specifically need your third character. You need your turn abuser like Terra, and then you need Yang going third.
Yeah.
So
I guess
it
if you
won't
bursted
work
with
if you
Terra, it'd
don't-
be a lot more realistic to do that.
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
Noctis and Young for double shenanigans, provided you can actually do
Or-
damage. Then yeah.
Or double Yang. You could do 2 Yangs.
What if you throw selfie LD call into the mix? The possibilities are endless. There's too many. There's a lot of stuff to test that I'm sure someone will test. But yeah, a lot of degeneracy is on the menu, guys.
Yeah, that's the fun. This is why I said it's a new era of the game. It's gonna be hella fun and hype.
Yes. That's an interesting segue into something I wanted to touch on. Speaking of extra or segues, though, if you're watching the recording, like the video. If you're in chat, like the video. I see we got 130 people. That's pretty impressive.
Damn, awesome.
Yeah, that's
And
very
only
impressive.
21 likes. Like if
Only
you're
21
enjoying
likes?
this, consider throwing a like at us.
I
That'd be great.
was watching someone earlier. Who was I watching? Was it Kevin Samuels? It was like it was Daquan Wiltshire. And he was like, I see 100 of y'all in the chat. I should have about 8,000 likes right now.
That's all.
I
That's
may
all
not
good.
spend 56 on Yang. I mean, Yang is potentially interesting if you're like for damage racers.
Just
He's your guy. Oh, Drez with the super chat. Who's the hottest Final Fantasy wife who solely bit Yuna?
Celeste.
Didn't even finish the sentence.
what?
Just immediately like, yep.
Kevin Samuels is hilarious. Oh yeah, Grand Ruby watches Daquan too. What if I dislike? I'll ban you. Thanks for telling me who to ban. His Daquan Wilshire's Daquan Samuels videos had me crying. And okay, yeah, you all watch Daquan. Thank you very much. You guys all have taste. I'm always watching his stream on Fridays generally. That man's hilarious. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say. Also, I thought about making a lot of the video topics. I've been trying to stream more because streaming is easier for me to just get stuff off of my head because I hate structuring videos and I usually just don't feel like writing anymore. Cap, it's BH6 or Pain. All right, you're banned too. We're about to hit a new era at JP with the ultimate weapons and probably level 90, and so I completely dropped the ball and didn't put enough of my anti-Doomer videos out there, and I still have one in the tank that who knows if it'll see the light of day. But I wanted to highlight, I'm sure you all remember 4 months ago when the world was ending. And when we get some dumb stuff with level 90 and ultimate weapons, it's probably going to be unbalanced again. But I hope you guys know this time to evaluate things before they blow up. Because there was definitely a lot of overreaction. And Lufenia Plus is currently getting memed again. Things settle. The cycle of this game is... I don't know, it's chicken and egg, but eventually the players outpace the content, and so the devs pull the content way ahead, and then the LDs got to catch up. We have so many stupid LD effects and calls and a bunch of stuff that we're back around the curve. It goes content is overtuned, and then we get like a nice middle ground, and then we get the characters are overtuned, and it's a game of leapfrog. So assuming that something stupid does come with especially this month. This month, and JP got memed really, really hard, especially with Machina doing a 1 million damage on his HP plus, which is hilarious. But we are almost certainly in store for something stupid, and I say this expecting to get bodied by content. Adjust your expectations. If you see dooming again, just know not to let it go out of control. I just wanted to say that. I had more in my head, but that's probably where it's going to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I
don't think the Doomers are going to be as prevalent here, because if you thinking back, the whole transition to like burst LD wasn't too bad on the content front. The Doomers weren't out in full force for that.
When it happened to JP, they were.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. 1% rate.
JP
burst is going to be required for
content.
Wow, the game is becoming pay to win. Oh, it was hard. That and people were re-rolling like mad for Squall's burst. And,
yeah, I do forget that the GL are just too positive about things, aren't they?
And people were saying when burst came, they were like, "Oh my god, the burst deals 1 million damage," and they're now saying it like, "Oh my god, Machina's HP plus deals 1 million damage." The game's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. Just wait for it to adjust. They will tweak. They will tune things. The whole point. The numbers mean nothing. All that matters is that you're having fun. So they will tweak accordingly.
Numbers in context.
Yeah. Like it doesn't matter.
Also, don't get me wrong. The first month of Lufenia Plus did suck, especially guys. Lufenia had horrible reduction. I think that was the most reductive stat-wise boss we've had ever. Sid Rain's Lufenia was garbage and horribly balanced around him, similar to Ultimicia's Chaos. The second half of that month wasn't as bad, but it definitely had a rough start. So that's not me downplaying the fact that a lot of those fights did suck in the beginning, but it wasn't indicative of the game being over. Before anyone who is unable to understand nuance tries to call me out on anything. Because I'm on video saying, "Wow, this fight sucks." So it's not like I've been inconsistent. It's just I was always also saying, and no one in chat said this. I'm just saying this preemptively, but just wait and see how it pans out. And game's fine. Rip Guy. Oh yeah, yikes! It only
he might get an LD. He might get a new LD board rework. We really don't know.
Or he might just end up being the next Fang.
Yeah,
I'm still sad about Dash. It's like, man, really?
What are you sad about Dash?
He could have thrown him a little bit of a bigger bone, you know what I mean?
Okay, I mean, Dash still has his uses, at least. Because that,
he got a free use of his LD, basically, because he starts with his buff now.
Yeah, which it's like the most important component of it, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, it's just... I feel like the devs just saw that he was like really good for quite a while, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we can't let him be good for longer. Like, we can't risk giving him something too substantial that would like maybe make him have a very long shelf life on top of what we're giving them in the case of Yang."
Whew. Yang is something else too.
That's the guarantee, right? People are just gonna get fucking bored in a week of Yang. I can guarantee it. I'll make that prediction right now, live on air. Call me out if I'm wrong.
No,
you're attention spans. You'll all forget I made this prediction, so I'm fine.
And no one will want to watch your content videos if you just have Terra and Yang. Like,
the people who do that stuff frequently will get the views, but it'll be very concentrated in the people that usually get the views for those runs. Like Clay is big on boss no turning.
How the hell did Clay get 3 turns on the Abyss Lufania?
Because he has studied in the art of I can do this without letting and destroying the bosses as fast as possible. He is a master of that. So Clay is probably going to monopolize the views on those. But anyone else doing that, not quite.
Yeah. For anybody, Dystopia is the channel.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people that do these like just crazy runs that if you actually watch and they're doing some like Clay does commentary and Dystopia does commentary, Bl'Artagnan does commentary. You should definitely check out people that do commentary. You can learn so much, like BC does. I used to do it. I don't really do it anymore. But you should definitely check out people that are making commentary. You might just learn a lot about a character that you really enjoy using.
Yep, good stuff. I've been sitting on Dash's LD since it dropped. Never saw a reason to use him. I was actually the same way in JP. I pulled his LD trying to get, I think it was Onion Knight's EX, because I was trying to read Transcendence, not Transcendence, Dimensions End 8 when it first came out. It was a weird, and then I got Dash's LD and I never touched it. And then I actually maxed him out when his Lost Chapter came around, and I used him a bit. I know specifically I used him in, it was Ash's Lost Chapter, where the orb is it was Holy +1 and Thunder +1, so I just brought Paladin, Cecil, and Dash to double enchant and hit the orb.
So I think the main reason that Dash went under the radar for a lot of people is because, like, just after his release, there was just, like, a shit ton of Thunder resist for just no reason.
Yeah, and I completely forgot about that. That had
But
happened.
even like, there was pretty much a month of that, but even after that month, Dash was solid for so long after
He was,
that.
especially Belial abusing him with the Unbrave Down stuff.
Yeah.
Good times.
So because he like paid his dividends after the whole release buzz, I think that's one of the reasons not many people talk about him.
Yeah. I mean, he's still the split AOE or the splash with the 4 hits is not very impressive nowadays. And while he does make everyone hit hard, and he is just cool sitting there, it's not very flashy nor interesting. When's Mino making a YouTube channel? He's too much of a. That's not a nice thing to call people. He's not brave enough to make a YouTube channel yet. Excalibur is great. That dude's awesome. Clay is our Stimpy. That's an interesting comparison. I like this Abyss. Yeah, I titled this Abyss is better now, but I really don't have anything to say about this Abyss. I got actually kind of bored running the Lufenia. I didn't feel like recording it because the fight was so old and the orb was so easy to satisfy. And I'd rather they lean towards less. I said this before. I'd rather they lean towards less restrictive orbs. But I think I was watching Soul's video on this, and he said he put it well, where he's like, all right, they lean in the other direction, but we should keep striving for. Nobody really wants easy clap fights, but nobody wants like super mega restrictive fights either. We should encourage them to find the balance. I think that is a reasonable take.
Yeah, I agree. Although I had a lot of fun with that fight because I didn't want to. Like, I don't know, I use Ramza, Aerith, and Celeste.
Oh, funny. I use Ramza, Aerith was the popular combo there because I used Ramza, Aranea, and Aerith.
Yeah. I mean, the debuff immunity is just like great, right? But throwing Celeste in, that was such a fun run because there's no way you can do that run without using Celeste's melee Brave Plus, which is like just brilliant to freeze the orb.
You fucking nerd.
You can't do it with that team. There's not enough damage. There are 3 supports. And yeah, you need to use Celeste's Brave Plus to freeze orbs and specifically time delays. It was so much fun to do that. Like, I really enjoyed the fight because of that.
You can get a particular enjoyment out of using a character that the devs clearly did not envision that you were going to use, like to get the clear through.
Nerd. Anybody watch
I wouldn't even say it's a nerdy thing. It's just a bit of a middle finger to the devs. Like, yeah, didn't think of this, did you, devs? Get fucked.
I haven't gotten there yet. Hoping to stomp it if it's easier. Yeah, it's just the Jack Lost Chapter without Element Absorb, and you need to bring a red crystal. And I'm surprised they didn't go a red dagger. That was an interesting choice. They use the easiest codes for it because of the short sword units almost having exclusive melee damage. Interesting theory. 7 Gabrant Ishtola made it hard to deal with. What do you mean by that? You mean it made it hard to do the orb or hard for the bosses to do things? Ink has to drop off, so now Necklord's me and you. Someone asked, they said, the meme lord of Sion on Reddit has a YouTube channel. Yes, because he is shit at advertising himself. He does in fact have a YouTube channel. Do you still post frequently?
It's a bit of a stretch to call it a YouTube. It's more of a time capsule of when I was able to use Sion and Lufenia, and that's pretty much and Chaos. Basically, pretty much every Chaos since his release of his X Plus, I have a video for, and some of the Lufenias thereafter. But I think there's like 1 shit post on it, and that's about it. You're welcome to subscribe.
I'm surprised you don't put them. I think I told you that before. But you should put them there. What was the reason you said you don't do it there?
Copyright, because if it's like Hell's Kitchen footage,
it's not like you're making money.
It just gets. Well, I just can't be asked for the flags and stuff because they reduce
they flag
it
you or do
per
they
region.
demonetize you?
It's not a monetization thing. It's like people in this country can't view it, and I just can't be asked jumping those hurdles.
That is unfortunate.
At least it doesn't happen on Reddit, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. Seven
Yes,
time capsule like
a time-
Cyan himself. Let me
Yep.
bitch about Final Fantasy VI real quick, because I was playing that goddamn game. I play that
Right.
game whenever I travel, which isn't frequently, but when I do travel, I bust out the Final Fantasy VI, and I was in that stupid cult tower, and I haven't unlocked Bog, and I ran into a fucking level 90 mage something, and I figured out because I was on a plane, so I was like, all right. I couldn't look it up on the internet, so I was like, all right, got to use my brain for once and not just cheat. And I'm like, all right, I can reflect this fucker's stuff back at him. But it was such an hour of pain to do that, and I'm like, I don't want to play this game anymore, so I stopped. The end.
Yeah, that cult tower is a bit of a nightmare because like you can only use magic in it, right? As you're ascending.
Because it'd been at least a year since I played 6. I was like, what the hell? Why can I only use magic? I completely forgot.
Yeah, it's great because like the two characters that you just don't fucking care about are like the best choices for it. So it's either Mog to just skip it all with the charm, or Umaro who just doesn't care about the.
I don't have
restriction,
either of those
and-
characters, nor do I know how to find them, and nor do I care. It's like a triple threat of not giving a single shit.
Yeah, they're just not important, are they?
Yikes.
But yeah, those Umaro's great for it because he just doesn't care. He just does physical attacks,
Don't even know
so
the
he'll
character.
just shred.
6 is bad. Fight me. I'm not gonna call 6 bad. I'm just gonna make fun of it for me being bad at it. It's easier to blame other things for your inability, right?
Yeah, and like FF6 is easy if you know how to break it. Like
Yes. That's the vibe I'm getting.
It's not too hard in comparison to other FFs, but like it's not if you're playing blind, it's not necessarily. It's like you don't know that you can vanish Doom everything, for example. Like
You can what?
I don't know if you're playing the SNES version. If you cast
no,
vanish,
I'm playing the Game Boy version.
Oh, and then they patched it. It's not.
Oh.
But basically, in the SNES version, if you cast Vanish on an enemy and then cast Doom, even if it was immune to Doom, or like X Zone, it would still hit them. Because the hit rate for magic when they're vanished is 100%.
What's the Final Fantasy with the best story in your opinion? Probably 9. 7's my favorite. 10's up there, but I think 9 had the most cohesive story.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Don't you feel great unlocking secret characters and alternate endings? Is that for 6? I know 6 has secret characters, but does it have alternate endings?
Sort of.
Oh, God.
Nothing substantial. It's like if you choose to rescue a character or you don't, and the ending slightly changes in very specific circumstances.
Yawn.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't even categorize it as multiple endings.
Play Mass Effect, you losers. That game has stolen my life. Rarely, like there's sometimes when I really like a game, you'll know because I'll wake up on the weekend and play it. I ain't woken up and playing a video game in a while. But last weekend, I got up and I sat my ass down in my chair and played Mass Effect for 3 hours. I love that game so much.
I think the most recent case of me getting fully fucking hooked by a game is probably Persona 5 Royal. I just blasted through that. I'd platinum that shit in like a fucking week.
You
dude.
played
It was
the base one,
outrageous. I did play the base one.
Oh
yeah.
man, every time I start Royal again, I'm like, I played this game already. And I don't even think I made it out of Kamoshida's dungeon, honestly.
It's not too bad because there's like enough differences in the base game with Royal to where it's like noticeable, and you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. You know, they've put some effort into making it not exactly the fucking same. But yeah, I know what you mean. Having to replay the whole thing, it's because it's a long game. So
Yeah. I mean, you know what's even longer? Fucking Mass Effect. 3 games.
But I mean, they give you Messiah Picaro for free, so you
I
can
hate
just.
Okay, I said I was going to reach out, and I said I was going to talk about stuff in the I don't even know what the title for the stream is, honestly, because I'm pretty sure I said I'd talk about Abyss, and then I didn't do it at all. So let me try and run that back to make sure I hit anything I might have wanted to talk about. I said Abyss is better, Water Vivi. Oh, I was going to talk about Pharisum, but I actually had no clue. Like, I don't think you guys understand how little preparation I do for this. I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite channel on the Citadel. Facts. Abyss is Water. I didn't talk about anything I thought I'd talk about. I literally wake up and and make up a stream title, and I shoot Ink a DM about what we might talk about, and then I log off work and I log on here, and I just talk. That's what happens. Who was water? Oh, you don't know the meme. Oh, that's an OG meme. Ferris is water Vivi. How is Ferris water Vivi? Neckler, we are old.
Yeah,
we are boomers. That is an old joke. Is that a Crystal 50 era joke?
I think it is actually.
Oh my god!
Yeah, no, it is. Because, to be fair, in Crystal 50, you could feasibly make comparisons to other characters because kits were pretty basic.
Yeah, they were pretty basic. Go on main court and search up water Vivi. The meme was someone the something Vivi meme. So it started when and I'm pretty sure he said basically some guy came in and saw that Vivi had a chance to apply poison on his HP attack. And C50 Ferris was known for, one, her dispel, but also her poison. And so he was like, isn't Ferris just a water Vivi? And that was the meme. And then at that point, it took off, and everyone started becoming Vivi. 8 was a counter punch Vivi. Also, Miranda Ashley, that's definitely Miranda. Although in my playthrough, actually, I don't want to spoil Mass Effect, but I'm gonna wife Ashley up and then do things later. Who keeps dislicing these videos? I don't know. Goofballs? Who cares?
It's engagement.
Yeah, it's engagement.
Yeah, it works.
Doesn't
Shadow
also have a
doesn't
chance to?
have a
Yeah,
chance,
Shadow is a dodge Vivi. Sorry, just go. If you go on main court and then search water Vivi and go all the way back, you'll see.
And that's
I'm
the
pretty
thing.
sure this was
we
like
were even joking about it when it was basic, but it just, as kits got more complex, so did the joke.
Yes.
The joke expanded with the game's own meta.
Tifa is just a fist wizard Vivi, to be honest. Honestly, yeah. Miranda is way better than Ashley. Facts. Yeah, it's been a while since the Vivi meme happened, but it definitely holds a. It's been so long that I forgot that people might not know what that is. But there are people who started in the Lufenia era. That's weird to think about. We've been playing this game for a long time.
Yeah, I do take it for granted, right? Because it's sometimes even in conversation, you'll like bring up some like relevant sort of contextual point about something in the game's past, like a previous abyss or something, and people will be like, "Wait, what the fuck? That was a thing?" You're like, "Wait, you don't know that was a thing?"
Who was launch Vivi? I think that would be Lael. I think Lael was the launch Vivi.
Yeah, Fence Ignore Vivi. Trying to think.
Remember when skills didn't have HP attacks? Now we're starting to get into boomer territory. Be careful. Rex's Earth type Vivi. That's funny. Rex never leaves my party. That is the man of all men. Pause. Sid Reigns is launch Vivi. Sid Reigns is midair kick Vivi. See, it's infinitely applicable. That's how the meme started, and I'm kind of sad that it died out now that I remembered it's a thing. Sarah's a bow Vivi. Yes. Sarah is a premium launch Vivi or a bow Vivi. Shepherd. Oh my god, my head's spinning.
The moment Vivi's LD dropped and like Vivi became more than just someone that does damage with an element, that's when the meme died, I think.
Yeah, because Vivi stopped being a meme. Because Vivi was always kind of just not good. And then with his LD, he did get good. First time here, what's up? Fan of your videos. Hi, thank you for coming in, although we are wrapping up because it has been an hour. This is the ranting hour. Inkwelder left because he had to go do something. Zonde is Fire Dark Vivi. It's the original reductionism meme. Pretty much, yeah, honestly. I mean, again, for the people that have been around here, the reductionism thing, it's a meme because it happens so frequently. Because it used to, people have been reducing characters to just one thing and comparing them since like forever. It's just gotten even funnier because kits have gotten more complex and people are still just whittling characters down to just one thing.
Yeah, it just makes when people do this comparison, like with the way kits are now, it's just so outrageous. Some of the reaches, it's unbelievable.
Do you think the hype for Bart's burst is because of his burst plus later on? Well, Bart's is good pretty much consistently, so he's good before he has burst plus, and he just keeps being good. So Bart's plus Tifa definitely a hype banner. It takes a vivid imagination to make these memes. I think my lifespan just reduced reading that. Don't worry, Red Ivy. We do this every Wednesday, so if you want to come through, then it's all good. Garland's delaying Squall.
I think a great example of the meme in modern form is probably from Cloud's own tier list video. I think is it about Squall BT, about it being compared to something else?
I don't remember what I said.
I forget the gag, but it's in that video. If someone has great memory, they can probably bring it up in chat. But that's if you want to revisit a reference to that, then that would be a great example to go look for, and give him a free view.
God, how long
on that video?
How long ago was that video? I was.
That's quite a while ago.
That was purely a quarantine project. I couldn't do that now. Yeah. Reducing people down back then was actually good. If something is niche like Bl'Artagnan, oh yeah, niche. That word is overused. God,
my
what does
niche,
that even mean anymore?
My niche auras of doing way more damage.
It's such a non-word. Like God, I hate the reductionism. But I'm glad people who tune into this know better than to do stuff like that. We're close to entering the LOL Tifa beats the meta of arguments for DPS characters. Yeah, that's gonna be annoying. I don't even think I have the patience to just okay, go ahead and use Tifa, idiot. I mean, it's a valid thing. I mean, Tifa can't just storm through stuff, but it's so boring. Like I personally didn't use Tifa for a while in JP because I thought she should have come later. So I waited until it felt a bit fairer to use Tifa because she kind of just dusted stuff. My niche purpose of generally good auras. I hate you all. Niche was the premium of the last generation, except that niche still. See, here's what niche means. Niche means character that has a good gimmick, but I don't want to pull for him, so I'm going to rationalize them as calling them niche. That's what it means. I'm going to go reduct every unit over on the Instagram. There's an Instagram group chat for Dissidia, and you guys use it? I'm so sorry. Balti and Vincent were pushing it. Oh, I remember that guy. That guy was an idiot. There's some weird. That's why I don't really go on. I don't have a social media for this game, like for Twitter and
pushing a gay agenda.
There's just some. I'd get really toxic because.
Oh, that's amazing. I hope the guy was saying it as a joke.
Like some of the stuff I see that I just can't interact with, and it's for the best. I just let them come to my channel. Or people tell me about other YouTube comments.
I will say, on a slightly unrelated, I think the worst part of pull videos is when they, for some reason, they're dedicating airtime to spread the wisdom of, well, if it's a favorite, by all means, pull. It's like, do you think I'm coming to this video if it's a favorite? Like,
yeah, it's to cover their bases, but there's. I hate that we have to always give disclaimers because the one time you don't, someone will come at you sideways saying like, "Well, I like them. I gotta pull anyways." Okay,
it's like, well, why are you here then? you were gonna pull whether you watched it or not. Like,
put it on your blog. Imagine me. I am a main court. I'm a helper. But people don't know that. I'm sometimes nice. It's overrated. Going after all the pull video people I see. It's not totally not driving up my engagement. Okay.
Any more of that talk, and you'll see Mino popping in it.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna start wrapping up. Can't go on about closing thoughts because it's just me and Neckler. But Neckler, closing thoughts for today.
I probably need to go to bed.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about content. It was kind of a not exciting week. I mean, Young is boring. Abyss is cool. There wasn't too much to talk about. So we kind of just went off the rails. Indolent Lord, I'm sorry in advance because we were all over the place. Limited doesn't equal scarce. Yoshi Pasta, I saw that in Soul Discord, but I don't get the joke. So you have to explain that to me later. Pull for Cammy's a future investment facts. How is June bad? God, people kept asking me that. I just hate the fights in June. Divine Alexander is restrictive. 9 Lost Chapters is restrictive. Kadaj's event is annoying. Bart's fight is cool. Edward's thing is obnoxious, and then Tifa's boss rush is semi-annoying. I guess I didn't answer that. I guess you'll have to stay tuned for when I do my content overview. Hopefully I don't get that out, the content overview for the whole month. Hopefully I get that out before the middle of the month like I did this week. God, I suck. Eldnar's the strongest character in the game. You're banned. Yeah, closing thoughts. I don't know. I need to change the title of this stream because I didn't talk about anything I'm into at all. So sorry about that, guys. Thanks for coming through. This has been the Ranting Hour. If you're watching this after the fact, please do like the video, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Thanks to Mansilla people. Shout out to Drez64 for throwing me the super chat. I don't know if Bart's is a force pull because why am I answering questions? I'm done. Hit me up in the comments, guys. I'm ending this.